What a week, Spurs Nation. What a week. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. The Spurs go 2-1 again. They're now 4-2 in sixth place, and I'm sure just blowing the minds of analysis everywhere as they're just playing incredible team basketball right now. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves to start the week, and they play the Wolves again, and they did lose, but they did fight hard all night. And then last night, wow, first Joshua Primo, our first round pick from last year, a lottery pick, gets away from the team about an hour before the Bulls game. Then during the Bulls game, DeMar DeRozan, former San Antonio Spur, scores his 20,000th point, but in the end, the Spurs were victorious. And this is just a crazy season so far, and I'm absolutely loving it. Spurs fans, I'm going to get to my version of report card, then my plays of the week, and then my players of the week. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below what player stood out, which didn't. Maybe you have more to say about Primo. Hit that thumbs up if you like to support a fellow Spurs fan, and subscribe for more Spurs content. Let's get into my report card. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Starting off with the big man in the middle, Jakob Poeltl. Jakob, man, I mean, going against one of the best in the business, Rudy Gobert, former, three-time defensive player of the year, and Jakob Poeltl held his own, averaging about 16 points per game, grabbing 12 boards, and this is what I wanted to see from Jakob Poeltl. I'm like, I know he can average a double-double, and he did so this week, and I think he can maintain that over the season, but also pick and rolls, 4 assists, shooting almost 69% from the field. Just absolutely love what I saw from Jakob Poeltl this week. I still don't know if he's in the Spurs' long-term plans, being 27. That's not ancient, of course, but we did have the full youth movement coming in over the last few years. Time will tell, but I love what I'm seeing from Jakob this year, and he's really making his way into one of the top centers in the NBA, so good on him and proving me wrong, because I've been skeptical, but man, speaking of skeptical, last week, Jeremy, you don't mess with the Sohan I was a little worried. I mean, it was just week number 1, but I was like, man, that offense is looking a little shaky. But and he came back this week, had a very good week, hit some threes, running the floor, doing the dirty work, playing solid defense. He's a legit lob threat for our San Antonio Spurs, something we really haven't had in what seems like forever. We have a legit lob threat. And all in all, we said all last season we need a legit power forward, and the Spurs went and drafted one. While some Spurs fans didn't like this pick, he is slowly proving a lot of folks wrong. Like this guy in his rookie season is already showing such, nice little just, stuff to get you excited that, you know what? This could be our power forward for the next decade. So I like what I'm seeing out of Jeremy. Hopefully continues to grow as he becomes acclimated to our offense. Speaking of growing, how about my man, Keldon Johnson, number 3? 26 points per game, Kelvin, this week. 26? Are you kidding me? That's NBA All-Star material right there. And I thought he would definitely average over 20 points per game a year. 20 points per game this season, but his scoring has been a high level. And I don't like the fact that he did force some shots last night. And it does here and there still maybe just, getting a little bit of tunnel vision when he's driving to the hoop. But that being said, we needed him last night in the fourth quarter, and he took the fourth quarter over. I think he scored 10 or 12 points in a row for the Spurs, was getting to the line on a regular basis. He has grown so much in these 4 years as a Spur. I love what I'm seeing, and hopefully continues to get better as the season progresses and as his career progresses. Devin Vassell, not in the lineup for most of the week. So who started? Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson, man, I got to say good. I think he had a career-high 10 assists against the Wolves on Wednesday night, and he just, he plays solid. He's solid on both ends of the floor. He's been a really valuable asset to this team, and be very curious to see come All-Star break time and before that, or really early next year, will the Spurs try to move him? But we're winning right now, so why would we? And I know some Spurs fans, no, this isn't part of the plan. The plan is to win games no matter what. I know that you might not like that, but as your team, you're trying to put out your best effort. The Spurs organization is not the type of organization that just put out garbage and just is going to go out there and lose 70-plus games. They put together what really might be one of the most underrated rosters in the NBA right now. Everybody had this team finishing pretty much close to dead last, and they're shocking a lot of people now. The wheels may fall at some point this year, but right now they're playing great team basketball. And last but not least, the guy I've been skeptical of, Tre Jones. I thought this was a good and bad week for Tre Jones. I love seeing the assist numbers go up, driving the offense. He's a great rebounder for his size, causing him havoc on defense and getting steals. But his shooting was not good this week, shooting only 30% from the field. He actually shot better from the arc than he did two-point land, which feels weird saying about Tre. I like the fact he's making those threes, but his shooting did leave some to be desired, and he was a little sloppy here and there. And he's probably the player, aside from Jakob, because his contract is up after the season, unless I miss something. Tre Jones is the biggest question mark I have. Is he our point guard of the future? Or is another player I'll be talking about in just a few moments? Let's get to the bench and players that maybe didn't play and have other news. Devin Vassell, Missed 2 games because of knee soreness. Wow, struggle's real. Hopefully he's back soon. He's been such a valuable asset on the floor for us on both ends of the floor. And just being able to just watch him, be able to create his own shot at will. I love watching his game. Hopefully he's back Sunday night. Joshua Primo, no longer with the team, waived. Not the initial shock is gone, Spurs fans. This clearly seems like this something off the court. We don't know what yet. Don't want to speculate. But the fact that they didn't even try to trade him, all his merch has just been pulled like it doesn't exist. His social media shut down. His girlfriend media shut down. Something bad happened either recently in the past or whatever it is. It doesn't seem like it's basketball related at all. I know a lot of us are disappointed. Maybe had some angers at the Spurs for drafting him. There's no way they could have known that whatever's happening was going to happen. So I'm not going to hold against the Spurs. They clearly are still excellent evaluating talent. 2 draft picks are starters right now, Keldon Johnson and Don Wassell. So we'll obviously cover Primo more when we find out what exactly, and if we find out what exactly happened. For the time being, clearly not a basketball issue, and they invested so much time and money in him, and it sucks that it didn't work out, but it is what it is. For the guys that did play, Doug McDermott, sorry to the Dougie fans, I got to call this an ugly week. He is brought in there for offensive firepower, and while he just didn't shoot well. Shooting under 30% from beyond the arc, 36% overall from the field. We need his offense. He did, occasionally have some big moments throughout the week, but overall, we need more from him coming from the bench. And I do think he's going to be one of those players that could be up for trade before the All-Star break. Zach Collins, pleasantly surprising. While he still is a little too turnover prone for me, he had a great week, was fantastic last night. Overall, averaged 11 points per game, shot extremely well from the field, 64% overall and 43% from beyond the arc. That's what I want to see from Zach Collins from the bench. And Spurs fans, if you look at our starting centers as a whole, if you had Jakob and Zach together, that is 26 points per game and 17 boards and 8 assists. That's like Nikola Jokic. That's pretty damn good. We're getting a lot of quality production out of our 2 centers. I think that duo really stepped up this week, especially when we consider the teams we went against. KBD, uh, you know, he's a spot bench player and looked good in spurts, shot to 62% from the field. And the only other player that played 3 games this week was Isaiah Roby, and ugly. Uh, yes, he's getting limited minutes. He only shot 30% from the field, and I didn't have extremely high expectations, but looking at his career in OKC, I thought for sure he would be a solid backup. A solid backup power forward was kind of what I was figuring. I'm like, I figure he's going to take KBD's minutes, but he's not. He just hasn't really melded into the Spurs offense as of yet. That may turn around as the season progresses, and I hope it does, but for the time being, it's just not working right now with Isaiah Roby. Gorgie Jang played 2 minutes. What can I say? There's really incomplete 2 minutes. Romeo Langford did get 60 minutes against the second Timberwolves game he lost, and he looked okay out there. He had 4 points, a rebound, and assist, but overall, I don't think he fits into the Spurs' long-term plans because of his huge injury history, and I also believe he's on the last year of his contract, so I think he's going to get spot minutes when needed, but overall, that's probably going to be it. Malachi Branham still has not sniffed 1 minute of the NBA court. I'd like to see him soon, but whose minutes gets cut? Maybe Isaiah Roby? I mean, if Isaiah's not producing, then, I don't know. Last but not least, though, Blake Wesley made his debut last night, played 15 minutes, and looked pretty damn good in those 15 minutes. I mentioned earlier in the video, Trey Jones, is he our point guard of the future? Maybe, but Blake Wesley, 10 points, 4 assists, looked confident, looked poised. I really like what I saw about Blake. He is taller than Trey Jones. I think he's 3 or 4 inches taller. He's got ridiculous amounts of length, and he's more the prototypical size point guard that we're looking for. Kind of similar sized, I would say, to DeJounte Murray. He might be our starting point guard of the future, and if he is, that would be 3 first-round picks in our wait. Yeah, 4. Dang, because Keldon was a first-round pick for us. Devin was a first-round pick. Blake was a first-round pick, and Jeremy's a first-round pick, and Jakob was a first-round pick for the Raptors. So I mean, say what you want the Spurs drafting, and yes, I'm very aware that none of our picks from last year are no longer on the roster. I'm going to actually do a video addressing that situation and some others. But the Spurs do draft, generally speaking, pretty well. Yes, it's kind of like there's no in between right now for us when it comes to the draft. Either we nail it or we just totally blow it. There's no it sort of worked out. That being said, we have some plays of the week, and I actually have 3 plays of the week. I usually do 2, but we have 3. My first runner-up is going to be This fast break, Josh Richardson finds Jeremy Sohan running the court, and boom, chakalaka with the thunder dunk of justice. I mentioned he's a lob threat. Great job by Jeremy Sohan getting down the court, and I just thought that was a really cool play, something we just didn't see in the Spurs offense the last few years. My runner-up play of the week, and I didn't know he had this in him. End of the third quarter, Blake Wesley running the clock out. Pick and roll blows by one defender, blows by two defender, and he throws down a thunder dunk of justice. What? Blake, I didn't know you had that in your game. Maybe you did it in the summer league or in the preseason. I don't remember seeing it, but that got me pumped up. But my play of the week, if you're going to take it at the big man, take it hard. And Keldon Johnson does right here against the Timberwolves. Blows by his defender, takes it right at Cat, and boom, shakalaka, and one with his thunder dunk of justice. Oh my gosh, when's the last time we had our Spurs team dunking the ball this much? Dunking, one, is exciting to watch, but two, it's the highest percentage shot in the NBA, whether you like dunking or not. It's probably going in the hoop, which is, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do, score points. So this Spurs team giving a middle finger to everybody that has called this team boring. They are an exciting, fun team to watch that is playing team basketball. I love what I'm seeing from our San Antonio Spurs. My runner-up player of the week is the guy that just had the play of the week, Keldon Johnson. I want to ask you guys something. If you're still here, 10, 11 minutes into the video, I see some Spurs fans say, we got a good roster, but we just don't have a guy that's going to be a superstar. Why can't Keldon Johnson be that guy? He's very likable, and his game is growing every year. From his rookie season to when he barely played, to his sophomore season, to last year, to this year, we're seeing his game improve each year. He's still very young. He hits three-pointers, which a lot of people like the three-point shot, but it's showing us that he can get to the rim and throw it down with authority. Those sound like all the makings of a potential superstar to me. Why can't he be the guy? The Spurs just extended his contract, didn't they not? I think he could be. And for the Spurs fans that keep saying he's a role player or he's just, he's not that guy or he's not, why can't he be? DeJounte Murray took 6 years to get to be an NBA All-Star. Granted, part of that was because, of an injury, but nonetheless, he was an All-Star in year number 6. Yes, I know he missed the season because of a knee injury, the torn ACL, but still, in year 6 of the NBA, he became an All-Star. Why can't Keldon Johnson be an All-Star this year? Why can't he be a superstar next year? Or Devin Vassell? I think we're looking at our current roster and we're saying, we need, instead of focusing on what we need, which obviously we want to focus on what we need, but let's also not forget what we have. And I think what we have is pretty damn good and underrated. That being said, my player of the week, I was leaning towards Keldon originally, but Keldon did really struggle with his shot this week. And Jakob Poeltl went against the best defensive center in the NBA, Rudy Gobert, not once, but twice this week, and absolutely held his own and had a fantastic week. I've been critical of this man at times, but I am always happy to eat crow and be wrong about guys. Jakob Poeltl, you are my San Antonio Spurs player of the week. Keep doing what you're doing, big man. And you know what? Maybe it'll be a Spur for the next 5, 7, 8 years. And if so, you keep playing like this, I'll be absolutely happy to be rooting for you. Up next, the Spurs play the Wolves. Again, that's right, 3 times in 4 games. Then we play the Raptors. Then we play the Clippers. That's right. It's us versus old number 2. Hopefully he plays because, might be managing his load. And then we got the Nuggets. I will be calling the Wolves, Raptors, and Clipper games. I believe they are on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have plans next Saturday, so I won't be able to do the Nuggets game. And that's my plan moving forward with the channel. Try to, of course, do the games that I can. But obviously, I don't want to cancel plans with family, friends, whatever, to call a Spurs game. So I'll probably call 2 to 3 games a week. And I love covering the Spurs again, and I love doing these videos. I am shocked, too, that right now we're 4-2. I had us pegged for 20. I underrated our roster, too, to be honest with you. I thought, Murray leaving, we're going we might be expecting too much from Keldon and Devin this year to carry the team, but they're just playing team basketball, and I love it. All the ISO stuff is gone, and Pop has got these players. Clearly, Pop's enjoying. I got me enjoying this season, and despite the distraction with Joshua Primo, this team, or the issues, whatever you want to call it, this team has been really. I'm surprised, and I'm glad to be surprised, and I hope they continue to give a middle finger to everybody that said to be a last place team. It's just a fun time to be a Spurs fan. Whether we win or lose, I'll still be here. You'll still be here too. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time. And as always, go Spurs, go!